Hi, everyone. It's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. And once again, I'm outside. It's a beautiful summer day. There's the neighbors using their lawnmower. There's birds chirping here and there, and dogs doing what dogs do best. So bear with me on this one as we explore responding to negative people. And my last posting, I talked about the recovery that's needed when dealing with negative people. Well, how do you respond to negative people? And what if you are the negative person? And these are two separate questions and two separate issues to consider. So let's address them separately. How do you respond to negative people? And what you have to ask yourself, is this a temporary situation, or is this something that's long term? And if this seems to be like, is this the personality of the individual you're engaged with, you're engaging with? Is it someone through work? Is it someone in your life? Is this who they are? And if this seems to be their personality, then honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. And I know you're thinking, wait a minute, you were just going to help me with this. The true factor here is that some people, by things that have happened to them or the way that they perceive life, they will always look at it through a negative lens. In these cases, you have to make the decision, how do you spread positivity to those people? And sometimes it comes down to, and I find this a lot in coaching when I work with my clients, these are people who just need to be heard. And honestly, they can break the cycle. They just might need a little bit of help. So if there's someone in your life that seems to be negative all the time, you might suggest that they tune in or that they receive help from a life coach. Myself or another certified coach would be recommended because life doesn't always have to be this way. The idea here is that, do we enjoy being negative? And the answer to that should be no. Being negative all the time is exhausting. So, how do you separate it? How do you get out of that funk that you get yourself into? And how do you remain positive all the time? I want to kind of put out there that we all go through bad times and we all go through situations that negativity seems to be the forefront. But how do we get through that? And being negative generally means that we're just unhappy with a facet of our life. And then how do we change it? How do we move forward? So the thing is that we can actually get trapped in negativity. And if we are around negative people all the time, guess what? We start to do the same thing. Think of negative feelings and emotions like a virus. It spreads. And if you don't seek intervention, it grows. So the idea is we become trapped in the negative emotions. And that's generally what happens to people around us who are negative people. You have two choices. You can either remain with them and start to follow what they do, or you can remain with them and help them to see that not everything is so negative. And it's how we approach it, truly. And this applies to both relationships with people who are negative and with yourself. And I'm going to use myself as an example. Recently, I went through some things that were very difficult in my life. And it was hard. And I'll be honest, it was hard for me to remain positive all the time. And I found myself being more and more negative the longer I was in the situation. And when I realized that I needed to separate myself from others. Even though these people were being positive in my life, I needed to separate myself in order to be my best self. So, what I did is I used that time to focus on my thoughts, my words, my actions, I thought about how my thoughts, my words, my actions affected other people. And most importantly, I thought about how my actions, my words, my thoughts, all of it affected me. And then I made the necessary changes that need to be made or needed to be made in my case in order for me to project, live openly a more positive existence. And you know what? Even the life coach needs to be life coach. So I life coach myself. And I realized that what I was doing wasn't helpful to myself and to others. And I made the necessary changes. And that sounds easy, and it can be. It just depends. So if you're someone that's finding yourself in kind of that cloak of negativity and you're trapped, let's talk, because life can be very big and very adventurous and a whole lot of fun. It's up to you what you choose to do. So for now, let me leave you with this thought. If you are finding that you are with negative people all the time and it's changing your mindset, it's time to find new people. Or it's time for you to limit your exposure to these people. If you are someone who is finding yourself trapped in this dark cloud that's following you everywhere of negative feelings and emotions, then reach out. Let's talk. Okay. So think about that. Think about where you're at in your life. Think about the things that are causing you these negative emotions. And let's talk about ways of getting through those negative emotions. And yeah, sometimes fitness is going to be part of it. But if that's not for you, then let's talk about it, because there are things that I can help you do to get through it. So for now, think positively. Remember, everybody's on a different journey. Treat yourself with grace. You're on a journey. Treat others with grace, because we don't know what they're going through. Be kind to others and be kind to yourself. For now, this is Dr. Stacy Betancourt with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy, and I'll be back in a couple of days. Take care.